Welcome back to a very hot, a scorching hot Hallett Motor Racing Circuit for round 3 of the Dodge Viper Cup. Greg Creamer along with Tom Natchew. And we are watching right here Ben Keating sitting in second spot. But Tom, the reports continue to come in that he is struggling with some overheating issues in that car, understandably, with these temperatures. And as a result, you look back from that view right there on board Keating, that's Vergis and Hearn, and they're closing.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly what's going on inside the car. How could we know? But Ben says it's very hot in there. We must get somebody to take a temperature of that if we possibly can at the end of the day. But, you know, it's, as you astutely pointed out, it's not just the Dodge Viper acr-x that's suffering. The guy inside the cockpit has got to be very hot as well. And if you're not running a cool suit, well, I'll tell you, you wish you were.
You know, all I have to do is take a look at the data on how you slow cook a chicken in a convection oven, and that's pretty much what's going on inside these cars.
That's right. You know, if you stick a thermometer in a filet mignon and it says 160, it means it's medium rare. And I dare say the cockpit temperatures are approaching that. As Vergis now has an opportunity to run up on back of Keating and try to make this into a race, visibly closer now, Greg.
Yeah, he's wrapping it up in a hurry. He's coming after him. And obviously, if that motor is overheating just a little bit, understandably in these temps, that makes it hard to accelerate. And right now, Vergis so close, not quite able to get down and underneath. And he too, as he runs now up on the back of Keating, he's got to make sure he's giving opportunity to get air to that very powerful Viper engine as well. So a bit of a game of chess here.
It really is. You know, it's kind of interesting to see how the heat is affecting this whole chess game. It's not just how you race, it's where you race on the track. And now Ben Keating definitely knows that Vergis is there doing everything he can to hold him off. And did you see Richie Hearn in the background there? He discovered where the headlight switch was, turned him on, a la touring car style, said, boys, I'm still in this.
Boy, and I think Keating just looked in his mirrors and ran a little wide in that long, tight left-hander that just seems to never end as it falls away. He pushed out wide, thought for a minute that Vergis might be able to take advantage. Keating able to recover, but boy, I'll tell you, Vergis is relentless right now. But that little bobble, notice how close now Hearn is to the back of Vergis. So that just compressed everybody, and man, did he get a run. And I think we have finally seen that heat finally take its toll. Hearn going to get down underneath and make the pass on Keating as well. And boy, Hearn is very comfortable throwing that big Viper around, isn't he?
Oh, he's looking great out there, and Ben's doing the right thing. You know, he's probably feeling the effects of the heat and doesn't really want to get collected up in this. He'll live to fight another day, so to speak, and we'll watch to see what exactly he's going to do here. Now, meanwhile, it's the same battle, but now it's on the podium. As Ben Keating, you can see another view there. I think that's Von Quillick quickly catching him up and blowing by in the front straightaway. He's just short shifting that car, trying to get that water circulating, that big V10 engine, and maybe get back in this race.
Yeah, right now he's just trying to get to the finish. Obviously came in leading in the points, trying to salvage something there. And when you're racing in this close quarters action, that's going to happen. And Jim Stow gets a great run on Keating in that Harley-Davidson Viper. And you know, for Jim, this season is a true family affair.
Well, my son is my crew chief, and I have a couple young fellows that work with me, Nate and David, and my sponsor is my wife. This is more like Nelson's Ledges and a few other short tracks that has some elevation changes, quite a bit of turns left and right. It's hard to compare to Virginia because Virginia's a long track with S's, the oak tree, but this has a combination. This has a hairpin in it and it has some sweepers. It's a fun little track. The tires get a little tired and it gets hot. We get a little bit of push, so we'll just have to drive accordingly. It may get greasy, but the new stickies are going to compensate, so it's going to be kind of a moving target. We're sponsored with Harley-Davidson Pet Supplies. Harley came to us and we created a whole program for them. So most of the Harley dealerships carry a full selection of Harley branded products, collars and leads and dog beds, and it's been very popular and very well received. We sell them all over the country and parts of the world.
Well, we know Harley fans are loyal, rabid maybe would be a way to describe them. So any kind of a tie-in regarding pets with that line is going to be successful, and obviously Jim doing a great job with it, as is Shims. Boy, once Keating had his problems, Shims has been able to open that gap up, but now with Keating falling back, and you've got Hearn, you've got Von Quillick, you've got Vergis, you've got Stout are all by, well, Not much time left. We'll see if they can reel him in. It's going to be tough.
It's going to be a long way. I think we're looking at a diamond in the rough here in Ryan Shims. I don't know where he came from. I knew he did some spec racing before he came on here, but he's driving a very smart race, something that you'd see from Dorsey Schrader or something like that. He knows what's going on behind him. He's checking his lap times accordingly. You can see he's still trying, but he's driving a very smart race, and he's keeping that Dodge Viper acr-x cool like it needs to be.
Well, he's clearly a quick stud. He's third in the opening round of this championship at VIR, wins the second one, so he's got the race pace, as we can see, but now we're seeing racecraft.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch these guys come along. It's one of the great joys about being involved in Dodge Viper Cup, because these guys, virtually none of them have been on TV before. They haven't been exposed, and as you can see here, on board in the Viper Cam with a very slow-moving Ben Keating. I think he's going to pack it in. Yes, indeed, he does. Pulls it onto pit lane. I don't think there's any point of going down pit lane, but we'll see exactly what he does here. Now he's going to make the hard left-hand turn up into the paddock and just call it a day.
Well, Shims, Burgess, Hearn, your podium, and Tom, you were wondering about the heat in that cockpit a little bit earlier. There it is.
158 degrees, so Ben Keating is a very, very hot man.
Welcome back to a hot and humid Hallett, and off track things are moving a little slow.
Yeah, it's hard enough for us, but how'd you like to have to wear a fur coat in this heat all day long? Back to racing, and we see Ryan Shims and waiting, and Craig, there's your gap.
That's the margin, and look at Richie Hearn taking a run at Burgess. He's alongside, he's inside, he is through. That's a great passing zone into that tight fall-away left-hander. And again, you've got an induced push there, and if you read it right, it can work. Burgess floats a little wide. Here comes Von Quillick up the inside as well, but Burgess not going down quietly, and now Von Quillick finally able to get through and complete the pass. I wonder if Burgess maybe isn't feeling a little of this heat issue as well. Here comes Hearn. Boy, deep on the brakes, Tom.
Well, he just took the track away from him, Greg, and there's nothing that Burgess could do. I mean, Richie Hearn pulled up alongside, and I think it threw off his rhythm, but you might have something a little bit there. He's falling off a lot now, as Keith Burgess may be our next victim to this incredible heat.
Von Quillick comes in here 8th in the points, and obviously looking to move up in that point standing just a little bit as we hop back on board briefly with Richie Hearn. There he is. There's Von Quillick behind him, and then Burgess. Yeah, he's definitely falling off, Tom. 1 to go, closing in on the end of this third round of the Dodge Viper Cup, and right now Ryan Shims, he has driven a beautifully judged race. He's just got to get through another half a lap.
He's done a great job of managing those Michelin tires as well. He's stickered up for this race, and you have to be very careful in this kind of heat, and he's done a great job. His car looks fast, and it still looks like he's cutting lap times very similar to qualifying, so good for him.
I think what you were talking about is right. You were talking about he was short shifting a little bit, knowing what how this heat was doing. He kept those Michelins alive until he could really lean on them, and now he's just carrying the speed instead of using that engine. That's smart.
Yeah, he really is a remarkable young driver. We're going to hear his name a lot more beyond Dodge Viper Cup. There's the gap. Back to Richie Hearn doing a great job himself. Michael Von Quillick in 3rd place.
Well, you almost have to wonder if Hearn had been able to get through things a little bit sooner, what he may have had in hand for Ryan Shims. Nice thing is we're going to be able to find out. The 4th round's going to unfold right back here, so we'll be able to see how that works out. Meanwhile, love this onboard shot, Ryan Shims. We are on the deck.
You can see this racetrack's just a little bit bumpy as that camera moving around in the front bodywork of Ryan Shims' car, but it's part of the thing that gives this place so much character. Onto the straightaway for the last time, Ryan Shims, the number 67 as we affectionately refer to, the camo car, takes the checkered flag in round number 3.
2 wins and 3 starts so far this year. Not bad. Richie Hearn brings it home in 2nd, and Von Quillick in 3rd. And you can see those 3 had pretty much gapped the rest of the pack at this point.
So now as he does that victory lap, he wishes he didn't have to. I can imagine he's just dying to crawl out of that car, but when he gets to victory circle, he gets a big check, and we'll be waiting for him down there.
And there is Ryan Shims getting out of that beautiful Viper, obviously taking his time. I'm sure he is hot and tired, but Tom's waiting.
Well, Ryan Shims, starting from the pole has its advantages. You were never headed the whole race.
Yeah, this track is very difficult to pass. Most offline positions are extremely slippery. I chose the left lane at the start just in case I had a bad start, which I did, and I was able to defend on the inside line. and we're real happy with the position. So, I can't say enough. Obviously, everybody else had overheating problems. A lot of people did. Motul has just stepped up and gave us this great product to put in our radiator that is, we had no overheating problems the whole race. So basically I just put it into cruise control at that point. So,
You know, up north in Ontario, we do a little ice racing in February. You care to join us sometime?
you know, I think I might jump in a bathtub full of ice right now. It is really hot here, really hot.
Ryan Shims finishes up P1. All right, Richie Hearn, you started off this weekend by saying you wouldn't mind finishing on the podium, and that's just what you did?
Yeah, we had a good car and stuff. The car was running really hot there, so I got kind of a bad start. It's been a long time since I've done standing start, so probably like 15 years. So I think I smoked the clutch a little bit, but then I was following that guy in third, and it just was getting hotter and hotter, so I had to back off a little bit, and finally he made a mistake. I was able to get by him, and you know, just thank the guys from Lux Performance and Dodge for inviting me out, and I had a great time, and really can't wait till the next race, really.
Well, lucky for you, that's less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
Richie Hearn, P2. Well, Michael, probably nobody on this circuit saw more action in front of them and then going by the other way than you did.
Yes, I did.
Tell us about your race.
Well, I'll tell you what, it started off real good for us. We got a great start. I was able to get on the inside line of the first corner, and I was able to swoop by a couple of cars in there, and it worked out real well for us. It was a high risk, but it well paid off.
And then throughout the race, of course, everybody had their eye on the temperature gauge.
Well, we were running pretty good. We were just fine. No problems at all with the temperature. It was just a matter of getting going. A new track for us. We've never been here, and so it was gratifying to do well here the first time out.
And there's a shot of the podium, and it may seem a little subdued, but if you'd been baking in an oven for 11 laps or 22 minutes, I think you'd be a little relaxed as well. Let's take a look at the final results here in this third round. Shims with the win over Hearn and Von Quillick. See the rest of the layout there. Now let's take a look at the points, and obviously Shims gets that second win, opens it up a little bit over Keating. Burgess drops a little bit in third, but the big mover from 8th to 5th is Michael Von Quillick. Nicely done there. And let's keep in mind as well that Connie Bogan up into 6th in the points. So that's going to wrap up our coverage here of this third round of the Dodge Viper Cup from Hallett Motor Racing Circuit. Round 4 coming right back from Hallett as well. Make sure and join us then. For Tom Natchew, I'm Greg Creamer. Take care, everybody.